we're going to pick up where we left off Friday with using properties of addition to find each value. So if you look at number 1, all right, what would be the total there? And how would you know that? I got 17 plus a negative 17 plus a negative 43. What is your answer here? What would be our answer? Ava. Negative 43. How'd you get that?
Well, I know that the positive 17 and the negative 17 cancel.
Yeah, this equals 0, right? 17 and negative 17 equals 0, right? So, if I have 0 and subtract 43 from it, I get negative 43. Okay? So, look at number 2. What do you think you would get for number 2? Lily? Right. Right, this 47 and negative 47 becomes 0. So now this becomes 0 plus 62, which is just 62. Very good. So it says Luciana claims that if you add numbers with the same sign, the sum is always greater than each of the add-ins. Is she correct? Okay. So basically what she's saying is this. So if I add these together, 0 is bigger than 43, right? Negative 43. But is 0 bigger than 62? No, this doesn't always work. This is not true. And again, the reason being is it's only true half the time, okay? So we got a lot to write here. So it's true when adding two positive add-ins, like in number 1. Okay, right? We had this, we gain 0, it's bigger than negative 43, right? So for example, think of 4 plus 6 is 10, right? 10 is bigger than 4 and 6, right? So if I'm adding two positive numbers, the sum of the two positive numbers are bigger than either one of the numbers we're adding. Does that make sense? Yeah. Same thing if I multiply, right? If I multiply, I'm going to come up with a bigger answer than any of the two numbers I multiplied, right? Only if they're positive, right? All right. It's not true. This is where it goes wrong. For adding two negative add-ins. And if we kind of use the same example, negative 3 plus negative 4 equals negative 7, right? Would you agree, right? Is negative 7 bigger than negative 3 or negative 4? No. No, negative 7 is not. It's actually smaller than both values. Not bigger than negative 3 or negative 4. It's smaller. Because again, the further away we go from 0, the smaller the number is, right? All right, we'll give you a little second to write that down. All right, so we're going to go to the back here. Here we go. So, when adding two positive numbers, your answer will always be positive. That makes sense, right? There's no way you can end up with a negative. If I start on the right side of 0, keep going right, there's no way I can get a negative number. And every time you add two negative numbers, your answer will always be negative. All right? When the signs are different, remember this, okay? The difference of the numbers without their signs, the sign of your answer has to be the greatest absolute value number, right? The number further away from 0. So if you're adding 2 and negative, sit down. If you're adding 2 and negative 8, Which number is further away from 0? Negative 8, 2. Where's 0? Who's further away from 0? Negative 8, right? So your answer will be negative. Okay? You can use a number line and or chip model to help you find the sum, right? We worked with chip models, right? We also worked with the number line. And then remember that the sum of the opposites are always 0. If I add a number and its opposite, 4 and negative 4, 12 and negative 12, a million and negative a million, the sum is always 0, right? Because these are additive inverses. And the word inverse is another word for opposite. Okay? So anytime I add its opposite to something, I'm always going to get 0. Okay? Every single time. All right.